As South Korea gears up for a financial milestone, the Democratic Party plans to introduce spot Bitcoin ETFs, potentially reshaping the crypto landscape within 31 days with legislative hurdles in the past. This move signals a significant shift in perception and opens doors for crypto integration into mainstream financial products. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's start. So here we are starting off with, it takes balls of steel to speak the good word of Bitcoin in front of a stadium of 60,000 people, get booed and keep going. He is the real MVP. Canada's first Lightning-enabled Bitcoin ATM opens in Vancouver. As well as, imagine being a financial advisor over the past decade, so close to the most important asset in the world, Bitcoin, yet not spending even a couple of weeks studying it due to the intense programming from all sides. Extremely sad. Sometimes it's better to be outside a particular sector to understand fundamental principles, as you are not influenced by the lawyers of psychological manipulation, conditioning, or supposed expertise. The next one, Bitcoin held on exchanges is hitting all-time lows. Supply shortage is incoming. Just in, South Korea's new government will vote to allow spot Bitcoin ETFs in June. Next up, everyone will accept Bitcoin at some point, and we are of course waiting for it. 250 million daily net inflow with supply at 450 Bitcoins a day, following for 30% lift for trader sellers. The equilibrium price sits at 427,000 per Bitcoin. How long until the flood of available supply gets chewed up? How long until BlackRock is no longer effective in making people sell their coins? Because after the supply is chewed up and fear selling stops, this thing is taking a leg up like we've never seen or even expected. Next up, what do we have here? 1 Bitcoin is about 10x more scarce than 1 kilo of gold, and similarly priced. Should get pre-priced probably this cycle so that a Bitcoin flips gold, passing gold parity at around 10 kilo of gold per Bitcoin. On Bitcoin's 3-day chart, Bitcoin is pumping in every 4 months. Bitcoin is now at the trendline support level, and indicator shows there is a high possibility to find a bottom here, and if Bitcoin holds this level, it will send higher more than $100,000. Never has there been such a buying opportunity, a buying spree by high net worth Bitcoin holders as has happened in the last 2 months, with Bitcoin ranging between $60,000 to $70,000. These are the guys holding between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoins of roughly $6.5 to $65 million of Bitcoin. Flows are currently eating over 10x what the Bitcoin miners are making every day, which is 450 Bitcoins, $29 million, and prices going sideways. Tether Foundation is eating steadily too. I don't know how long this can sustain, but we are past halving and it's looking like Barry's grayscale may actually be fully bled out. Time is the real question because something will break eventually with this much Bitcoin being consumed and supply dwindling. It's a super interesting dynamic to say the least. So that's what we have here. Bitcoiners that didn't sell when Bitcoin went from 69,000 to 16,000 in the bear market will not be shaken out, as good luck bidding for our coins 1 million, 2 million, and $10 million. Should we be watching for another catalyst that will spur more Bitcoin adoption? The first big catalyst was the SEC's approval of spot ETFs for Bitcoin, as the second big catalyst is going to be the SEC's denial of every other crypto implication for a spot ETF. The Bitcoin range, how I see it, deviated below the range, nice retake and strong rally, now finding resistance at a 4-hour 200 EMA and mid-range. Flip 6650, 66,500 and 67,000, and it should make way for a higher levels. Until then, choppy range in which alts hopefully find the time to shine. Lots of Bitcoin liquidity piling up above us, as we could see some at 68,000 and as well more at like 70,000, and the big ones at 72,000 and 74,000 as well, around the 3 billion upwards right now. MicroStrategy now owns more Bitcoin than any country in the world. As we can see here, MicroStrategy 214,000, USA 207,000, China 194, UK 61, Germany 50, Ukraine 46 46,351, Marathon Digital Company 17,631, Tesla 9,720. We could see Hot 8, Coinbase, Riot Platforms, Galaxy, Block, ClearSpark, and El Salvador. The last spot was 5,690. As well as US Bitcoin ETFs had a new net inflow of 217 million yesterday. Not one ETF had an outflow. Even Grayscale had $3.9 million of inflows. If we keep having 200 million, 300 million daily net inflow from the Bitcoin spot ETFs as we had in the last 2 trading days, I guess the bull run will be restarting again soon. We don't need much more. With the halving at a buying pressure of the $250 million per day, the buying pressure will be too high and keeping the price at 60k level will be unsustainable. South Korea poised to greenlight spot Bitcoin ETFs in June. South Korea is on the brink of a major financial development as the Democratic Party gets ready to introduce spot Bitcoin ETFs to the local market, as this initiative reflects the party campaign promises and could radically change how cryptocurrencies are perceived and traded within the country. Initial moves towards regulatory change. According to Bloomberg, a local media outlet, and Democratic Party is pressing the Financial Services Commission to reconsider the current ban on spot Bitcoin ETFs. An official from the Democratic Party's Policy Committee revealed plans to submit a formal request for an authoritative interpretation of Bitcoin spot ETFs once the 22nd National Assembly commences in June. The Democratic Party has long advocated for integrating cryptocurrencies into mainstream financial products. A recent statement highlighted their commitment to enabling the issuance, listing, and trading of ETFs that utilize digital assets like Bitcoin and as underlying assets. Global context and legislative challenges. Despite the enthusiasm surrounding Bitcoin spot ETFs, South Korean financial regulators have historically resisted their inclusion under the Capital Markets Act, which does not recognize virtual assets as valid underlying ETFs. However, the international landscape is shifting following the US approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF in January and the commencement of Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETF trading in Hong Kong, as there is renewed optimism that South Korea might follow suit. The Democratic Party's overwhelming victory in the recent general election, securing 175 of 300 seats, has strengthened confidence that their cryptocurrency-related initiatives will succeed. Still, an official noted that discussions on implementing these pledges have yet to start due to the new assembly's pending inauguration. The party plans to push for massive legislative changes if the FSC's forthcoming interpretation remains unsatisfactory. Discussions are expected to start on the second stage Virtual Asset Act later in the year, and should those efforts falter, a proposal to amend the Capital Markets Act will be considered. This amendment process, however, is not immediate and would involve extensive consultations and approvals, potentially delaying actionable changes by several months. That's kind of all the information we got for today's video, so don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, and peace.